And let me say it if I haven't already, I don't mean to offend anyone with any and all of this. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of some shady stuff being peddled to men, women, and children. And I'm doing it with the help of all these people willing to speak up and make these points in the first place. So with Don't Shoot the Messenger in mind, here's another piece from a podcast called Truth Talks, hosted by Crazy Bone. It's from an episode titled Media Manipulation, I believe. Listen to him shed some light on how young ladies are manipulated this day and age by the very media they consume.
Listen to what some of these young teenage females had to say. A girl named Erin. Movies portray the typical teenage girl as a rebel with an attitude problem. It makes it seem as if all of us are untrustworthy, image-focused, and drama queens. Another girl named Natalie said, the teenage girls in movies and on TV are attention-hungry and obsessed with their looks, clothes, popularity, and boys. Then Maria says, rarely do you see the fun girl not drinking, not sleeping with guys, and not rebelling against her parents. When a girl isn't showing doing those things, she's depicted as either a religious fanatic or some kind of prude. Another young woman by the name of Karen said, I see my little sister. She pretends not to care about anything but clothes and boys. She's smart, and I know that she has other interests, but she plays dumb because she thinks that's the only way she can be like all the other girls. And she's only 12. And I'll read one more from a 15-year-old girl named Alexis. She says, in the media, girls are shown as self-obsessed, ditzy, and prone to immature things. But I think most of us have fairly good judgment. We have other things in our lives besides daydreaming about some cute guy.
And we are not going to let men off the hook completely just because we're criticizing radical feminist ideology. Remember, I'm the guy that wrote The Evil That Men Can Do back in 2010. And with that in mind, here's another clip from the same episode where Crazy Bone makes a real good point about how simply dying does not make a man a good man. Check this out.
Even when you go to funerals, and even if the person that's laying in the casket is a stone cold killer and criminal, what's the first thing they usually say? He was a good man after he done killed 3-4 people. I've been to funerals like that with homies I know, and the whole time I'm sitting in the funeral, wait, am I in the wrong
on the real
service? Because I know you ain't talking about that man.
And I gotta say, I pretty much agree with all of that. Measure a man by his actions, his victories, as well as his flaws, and not by his promises or the words of any propagandistic attempt to manipulate his true identity. There's another triggering word, identity. For example, and you can take this any way you want, I don't believe in building monuments to anyone without a damn good reason. Anyone, but let's definitely not build monuments, metaphorically or physically, to men that have done awful things in life. And take that any way you want. Yes, death is sad, and lives cut short by violence and tragedy is always awful. But if a man lived a violent life and did some foul, criminal shit to people, hurt them, damaged lives, infected communities and families by spreading parasitic behavior, and who didn't make much of an effort to try to heal wounds and plug holes in the world where there are bad leaks, a guy like that should be mourned by his loved ones and not made into a false idol or a martyr simply because their life was cut short.
And that's all I have to say about that.
And again, this is Mr. Conductor talking, the guy who wrote The Evil That Men Can Do way back when, the guy who's been zero tolerance for men doing evil since forever. And I'm not pro men's rights and I'm not anti-feminism. I'm pro understanding and pro listen. I'm just taking you where all of this is taking me.